Hello and welcome. I'm going to do a book review today, but it's not a magic book. It's a book about networking. Now you might be saying, Dave, this is a magic channel. What do I need to know about networking? Well, if you want to perform professionally or semi-professionally, networking is the way you do that. So in this book, I have read every book that I can get my hands on marketing and networking. And trying to present magic professionally. I've read every by magicians, by secular authors, anything I can get my hands on. I've gone to seminars. And this, folks, this is the single best book I have ever read on networking. So I highly recommend it to you. Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. I'm going to give you some of the highlights right now, but I want to encourage you to pick this up. It's massive, but it reads really well. Let me give you one insight that really hit home to me. I've been networking for many, many years. I'm a member of my local Chamber of Commerce. I'm a member of various business groups. I prefer to perform for adults, and I prefer to perform in a business setting. So naturally, the way to do that is to be interacting with business people, and so that's what I do. But one thing I learned kind of intuitively, but it goes against classical teaching and networking. When you go to networking seminars, generally they tell you to go to these events. They tell you to meet as many people as possible. And a lot of these events are like that. You have people going around and they're handing out business cards and they're introducing and they're shaking hands and so on. He has a much different approach. His attitude is, when you go to these events, you want to concentrate on cultivating, on making real human contact. You want to spend time with 2, maybe 3 people at the most at any given event. Now he takes it even a step further, in that he figures out who's going to be at the event, and he positions himself to meet people that he's pre-chosen to meet at these events. And then he spends time with them to try to create a sense of connection. Because it's that connection is where the business is going to come from. Now, I say that's counterintuitive because a lot of people go to these events and they think they should meet as many people as possible. No, it's about the depth of the relationship. And I'll get into that in a second. If you want to earn any part of your living in magic, this could be the single most important book that you read to help you do that. Never Eat Alone, Expanded and Updated, and Other Secrets to Success. One Relationship at a Time is the full title of the book, by Keith Ferrazzi. He's a Harvard grad. He's an entrepreneur and thought leader in relational and collaborative sciences. I think that's really cool. Now, there's a couple of key phrases that you've probably heard if you've ever tried to be self-employed, or if you're a salesperson. I'm sure that you've heard these. Your network is your net worth. Now, he doesn't say that in this book. But the reality is your network is your net worth. You are going to be as successful as your network is strong. So how do you, and by the way, network is a fancy word for friends. It's a fancy word for friends. Your job is to make friends and to make quality relationships, to build real friendships. If you do that, you're going to be the person they think of when they need your product or service. Now, the second kind of cliche that I think is really true: people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Now, that is a progression. You go to these meetings to meet people so they get to know you. Now, knowing your name and knowing what you do is not knowing you. They need to know more about you, and you need to know more about them. So you want to explore. And by the way, there's this idea of business and personal. Forget about it. Forget about it. People want you to be interested in them, and you want people to be interested in you. So talk about your hobbies, talk about your interests, talk about the things you love, the things you're passionate about. Make a human connection. That's how you get to know people. Be genuinely interested in them. There's no substitute for really in your gut having an interest in other people and a love for them. You cannot fake genuine affection. So make it real, folks. People they know, like. How do you become likable? Here's one simple solution. Like other people. That's it, man. You like other people, they will like you in return. But again, you can't fake it. You need to genuinely like, genuinely have affection for other human beings. And when you do that, they're going to gravitate to you. Finally, trust. Trust is built over time. It doesn't happen overnight. Trust comes from keeping your word, doing what you're supposed to do, being a hard worker, being dependable, being reliable. That's where trust comes from. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. What distinguishes highly successful people from everybody else is the way they leverage the power of their relationships. When I got back from seminary, I thought that because I had a Master's of Divinity degree that entitled me to a job. I went down to the headquarters, the district headquarters, to talk to the bishop about getting a job, and he told me, it's not what you know. In other words, it's not the fact that you have a Master's of Divinity. A lot of people have a Master's of Divinity. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, as a early 20-something, I was shocked by that. This was ministry. I had earned my degree. I was supposed to be a pastor, and I'm being told you need to get to know people. They need to get to know you. They need to know, like, and trust you, and then they will invest in you. They will invest their confidence in you as a spiritual leader. Until you've earned that, I can't help you. That's basically what he was telling me. Now, I'm going to give you 3 rules that are actually from this book. Do not keep score. You're going to give to others to an extent that they're never going to give back to you. That's okay. When you do something for someone, and you need to, because that's how you establish know, like, trust. You need to give. It's not tit for tat. Because you arranged an interview for someone, because you came to bat for someone, because you stuck your neck out for someone, does not mean they're going to reciprocate. That's okay. They don't need to reciprocate, and you shouldn't expect it. Don't keep score. Second, ping constantly. What you're trying to do is develop relationships. Now, he said something else that's very counterintuitive, counter to what you've heard in the past. What you've heard in the past is develop your email list, right? And constantly send emails out to remind people that you're there. That's what you've traditionally heard. He goes against that grain. Instead of sending out these emails, these generic emails to this massive list, he wants you to cultivate personal relationships. So now you're sending individual emails that are personal, that have to do with personal information to individuals on that list. That's a very different approach, and it's much more involved and much more complicated to do, but it's also much more rewarding. Now, by ping constantly, he means reach out to those in your circle of contacts all the time, not just when you need something. You should be providing something, and that comes to the third point. Become the king of content. You might notice that I've been producing these videos every single Friday for years. I've been providing you with quality content. Have I seen a return on that investment? When I started to do this, my motivation was very simple. My mother had passed away. My dad was severely sick. He has since passed away. I got a sense for my own mortality. I knew that I wasn't going to be here forever, and I had amassed this library and this knowledge and these experiences. My motivation was not to get anything back. My motivation was to put it out there for other people to use. And in that, I feel like I've been successful. This channel has grown steadily. People have responded positively. Every single week, people comment down below. People like the video. It's extremely rewarding to do that. But what I'm saying is, you want to figure out, based on the list, your contact list, the people that are in your circle, you want to figure out what their needs are and meet those needs on a consistent basis. That's how you develop trust. That's how you become the person that they go to. So folks, never eat alone. The title even the title is very interesting, because if you haven't done this, one of the best ways to get to know somebody is to share a meal with them. And he advocates that in the book as well. So folks, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please comment down below. Please subscribe if you've not done so already. Have a great day. I will see you next time.